Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Father of the Bride Part 2. This is, of course, the sequel to Father of the Bride, starring Steve Martin and Diane Keaton, and Martin Short, of course. In this one, even though Martin Short is a wedding planner in the first one, planning a wedding for Steve Martin's daughter, they find a reason to bring him back, along with B.D. Wong, as a... what is it? The baby shower planner, and a bunch of other things, and also being involved in other aspects of their lives needlessly, but only because he is a comedy machine and is one of the best buddies of Steve Martin. So yeah, they're going to find a way to put him in the film a bit more often, for any reason. He helps design the baby's room. So yeah, it's this is the kind of movie that would not be released in theaters today. This is from 1995, by the way. It is nearly 30 years old. It is 1 hour and 47 minutes long, and it also stars... I'm hoping that my tablet does not die. It was dead, and I've been waiting for it to charge up enough. It's at 3%. It also stars Kimberly Williams as his daughter. The return of pretty much the entire cast from the previous film. Kieran Culkin is his son as a little kid. You might know him from Succession now, and a bunch of other things. Eugene Levy shows up in a very, I really don't know what person he's playing, but he is a villain of sorts for at least a portion of the film. This goes through a lot of iterations, and if you can't figure out what's going on in this film, it's not just that his daughter is having a child, it's his own wife. Now, there's lots of concerns regarding, in Steve Martin, sorry, his name is George Banks. There's a lot of concern at George's time in his life by the fact that his daughter is having a child. He feels he's too young to be a grandpa. He is, as of the filming of this, probably 49, 50 years old, or at least the release of this, I should say. He's in his late 40s, if not 50 years old by the time this releases. Diane Keaton is a year younger. And yeah, I realize there's a lot of people out there who probably had kids fairly young, and their kids might be having kids. I don't know what to expect when it comes to people feeling like they're too young to have grandchildren. Well, at the same time, George Banks has the opposite problem. I'm not really spoiling anything, especially when you see this picture and the description that explains that both his daughter and his wife are having children at the same time. He has, due to a sudden romantic tryst that apparently never happens in his current life with his elderly Diane Keaton wife, he's at late 40s, seriously. Yeah. They just do not do making baby stuff. Of course, at that age, maybe they are less likely to have children. Sure, that's understandable, but it's not impossible. So yeah, this is all about George dealing with his insecurities of feeling too young, and he goes off the deep end to adjust for the fact that he's going to be a grandfather. Of course, he goes through a lot of the cliche feelings that a father might have when he realizes that the man who married his daughter in the previous film is doing stuff with her, and stuff that makes babies, and he gets angry at him all over again for doing things to his child, which is not a thing that happens in this film. She's a grown woman, and yeah, so there's this... I realize parents will infantilize their children even through adulthood. They'll always see the 5-year-old or the 10-year-old that they remember them to be as kids, and adored them, and they were just perfect little brats. Because kids are not angels all the time. Sometimes they're brats. But there's a lot of slow motion, sort of misty cornered shots of him playing basketball with his daughter at various ages, with the very plaintive music playing in the background. It tugs at your heartstrings. It's meant to be it's meant to do that. This is all about nostalgia. This is all about the love of your children, of parenting, of seeing your children grow up, and also the desire to have them never grow up at the same time. So yeah, there's so many emotional heartstrings being tugged here. This is not the kind of film that would be released, like I said, in theaters anymore, because it does not have explosions. No, there's no explosions in this one. There's no visual effects, gigantic visual effects, absolutely zero. There is a race to the hospital in a car that was done by real stunt drivers. There is creative editing taken when there's a chance that a building might be demolished, and George stands in the way of that. Well, I don't know. There's no digital effects in this, as far as I can tell. So yeah, everything is, you're spending the money on the actors on this one, because you got Diane Keaton, you got Steve Martin, you got Eugene Levy and Martin Short, and you got this solid cast, and this is the type of film, again, that a family can enjoy, and it is the type of film that would be marketed really to the empty nesters, or the about to be empty nesters, the ones who watch their children grow up, graduate high school, and be their own people. And those people don't necessarily go to movie theaters these days, or at least not in enough of a way that would pack a theater, where oh my gosh, I need to see this opening weekend. No, it's the kind of thing where they're like, oh, that'll be on Netflix eventually, or in this case Disney Plus. It'll be on Disney Plus eventually, right? I'll watch it when it comes there. So the concept of streaming, I mean, even beyond what we've dealt with when it came to renting from home, some people also had the idea of, I think I'll wait for Blockbuster. Back in the day, back when this was popular, when this was in theaters, they might have waited for to see it when it showed up in Blockbuster. And come on, there you go. Sorry, I set it up, and I'm waiting for this thing to charge, and I let it go too long, and I didn't tap the button again. Anyway, so it ran out of time. So this is it's sweet, it's heartfelt, and in what passes for the big bombastic climactic scene in an action film, well, it's everything that you would expect in this type of film when it comes to two women about to give birth, and George wants to be present for both of them. Well, I'm not really spoiling too much here. They're not really supposed to be having children at the same time. Somebody goes into labor sooner than expected, and he's knocking himself out trying to keep everything under control with the help of Martin Short, who to a certain degree is helpful, in other ways doesn't. It makes things worse. But yeah, it's a big, crazy, slapsticky sitcom type of comedy mess at the end. Not in a negative way. It's meant to be chaotic as the babies are on the verge of being born, and of course the sweetness that comes with the arrival of the children, and just everything working out, no matter how much George fixates and worries and everything else. Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing that would have been released as an 8-episode series on Netflix today. This is done in a 1 hour and 47 minute movie, and it's not just about babies. Again, it's about their marriage. It's about their home. Are they willing to give up their home? Are they too set in their ways? Now the girl his daughter's all grown up, even though they have like a 10-year-old son or something. Should we all just hang on to our youth and buy a place at the beach instead? Well, things get complicated because of that desire to remain young. Again, this is 30 years ago, so yeah. Gosh, he was 45. Steve Martin's and Diane Keaton are both looking great for the age they are now. 30 years after this, are they 85? Are they 80 years old? No, really. It's whatever. It's a lot. It's almost. They're in their late 70s. They look fantastic. I'm just saying. The fact that there's a worry about if they made this movie now when they're in their late 70s, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. What are we gonna do? Well, yeah, that would be a little bit chaotic, more so. But all said and done, this is meant to be a film that you can watch, and the stakes are high, but they're dealt with in a comedic way. Things happen in this thing to apparently very rich white people that money will solve in the end. So, and yeah, it's the kind of thing that only would happen to people who own a very large house in a very Pasadena neighborhood. Yeah, I'm just saying. This is not the story, everybody's story. This is really wealthy white people. So, man, the size of that house in California, because it takes place in California, and you can tell it's kind of Pasadena, because it's also like Alhambra and stuff like that. If you don't know the area, the car chase takes place through Alhambra, which is near Pasadena-ish in relation to LA. It's, yeah. Any of these things happen for your current 2024, is there a middle class anymore? Middle class family? This would be terrifying. This would be a horror film. That's what it would be. It wouldn't be a comedy. It would be a horror film. Try to be funny, but the big reality is, we're screwed in every way. So, let's pick tomorrow's episode. 58. And that said, it's a very enjoyable film. It's funny, very funny at times, but it's the kind of thing that a certain tax bracket can afford to laugh at. So, oh my gosh, finally, I've been waiting to get this series picked. I needed a reason to have this be selected. I've been wanting to watch it. We're watching tomorrow Darkwing Duck. Yes. Duck-themed vigilante, superhero, Batman-ish. Yeah. Darkwing Duck is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. We'll see you tomorrow with that.